we're very lucky in this exhibition because we have a few examples of a panel, or known as a panel study, and the canvas that was made from the panel. And this is particularly true in these two paintings, which this is now called Venice at the Golden Hour, and the smaller study on wood is called, obviously, Study for Venice at the Golden Hour. The titles of the paintings are probably made up. This is not a typical Morrice painting. As part of being, in a sense, as a part of being a modernist, his titles tell you kind of nothing. In fact, his favorite title for his Venetian paintings was Venice. So it's very hard when you read reviews of exhibitions and they say Morrice painted this lovely picture entitled Venice, you think, well, which one was it? But its name originally was probably Red House or Red Houses. It's not clear whether it's one or two houses, but Venice at the Golden Hour, which is a beautiful quote from Henry James, has really nothing to do with Morrice directly. Very often, the panels that go with canvases will vary in terms of degree of finish. In the case of this one, it's almost there. It's still quite wobbly, for lack of a better word, and still a little more loosely painted. Other things, of course, are different. In the final painting, he puts in, this isn't a gondola, it's a sandalo, which was kind of like a basic car, like a real basic car. It was a basic boat for transport of people and mainly of goods, although the boatman is rowing the sandalo exactly as you row a gondola, which is standing in the back, facing the bow, and with one oar, and this is called rowing alla veneziana. These paintings have all kinds of hidden information about Venetian life. And when usually, and it's almost no matter how finished, complete the study is, when he turns it into a canvas, the main thing that happens is the painting is finished. And by that I mean that the paint is evenly applied, the architectural details are accurate. You start to see silhouettes around windows, walls. The things straighten up. Edges, edge lines, buildings, edge lines are completed. Everything seems to be neat and tidy, or more neat and more tidy than in the study. He'll very often change slightly the position or the number of figures that he might put in the study. Sometimes things will become more precise. For instance, here the steps leading onto the Riva del Ferro, which is the name of that street, are more precise. He might crop a little more or enlarge it a little more in the canvas. The canvases, though, were done in Paris. Oil painting is a complicated procedure. It's more likely that he would have been able to work comfortably and familiarly in his own space in Paris. Of course, when he's in Paris, the light is different. And it's an interior light. He paints indoors. It's very likely that when he painted the panel, the panel for Venice at the Golden Hour, he was painting it from across the Grand Canal on the Riva del Vin, seated at a cafe, and so it's the natural light of late afternoon. The big difference, there is one very important difference about this painting, And it's why this painting is particularly important to me. This is probably his most famous Venetian painting, and maybe his most famous painting. In the canvas, and it's been written about extensively, it has been exhibited extensively, which is wonderful, and so wonderful to see it here again. But there's one thing that's extremely different, and that is there's a shadow across the front of what is always been known as the Hotel Rialto, because this is it's at the Rialto Bridge. You see the staircase leading up to the bridge. No one has ever mentioned this before, but staring at it, I thought, what is that shadow? Because it's not in the study. And then I realized it's a reflection of the unseen Rialto Bridge. And all of a sudden, the painting became extra special. And it is very often in modernist paintings, you see things that are hints of things that you don't see, that may reflect on something outside the actual canvas or panel, which therefore opens up and even expands the narrative in the canvas. This picture, therefore, became very important to me because I made this great, or I feel I made this great discovery of explaining what the shadow, that noticing there was a shadow, and also making a suggestion at what the shadow is. But it's also, in a way, the first painting that set me on the road, so to speak, of writing the book and eventually being asked to work on the exhibition with the McMichael. When my first trip to Venice in 1977, I did go and look, sat on the Riva del Vin at a cafe, just like Morrice, and stared at the building. And the question to me was, what is the difference between a painting and the work? When in the case of Morrice, where he is so accurate, I mean, he's accurate in ways that are unbelievably accurate. This lamp still is there. All of the details are exactly today as they were when he looked at this painting around 1900. And it brought up all those questions of what is art.